Hi, and welcome to Ida and her books. I'm Ida, and these are my books. Today I will be doing a book haul that is long overdue. Last one I made was in August, and I have acquired a lot of books since. I will start from the beginning. Me and my sister went to Great Britain to backpack in August, and the book haul I made then, I made specifically because we had decided not to buy anything, because we're traveling with a backpack each, and that is all we had to pack. We thought that these backpacks would be full on leaving. They weren't. We had one super full backpack, and then the other bag was slightly more than half filled when we left. We got to a point where we thought, oh, one book couldn't hurt, can it? And then books are cheap in England. Everything started in Hay-on-Wye, where we wanted to go because we heard it was a little town full of bookstores. And went there and I found this book, The Haunting of Henry Twist. And I felt drawn to it right away. It cost like £3, so it wasn't much. It was a used bookstore, and I was very intrigued. I read the back and I was discussing with my sister. I was like, I really want this. I need it. I really want this. And she says, well, if you buy a book, I can buy a tote bag. And so we're like, yeah, we can buy one book and one tote bag. That's fine. That's fine. So I bought this one, and I'm so happy I did. It ended up on my best books of the year, 2018. So this is the first book I bought. The Haunting of Henry Twist by Rebecca F. John. Next, we went to Stratford-upon-Avon, where Shakespeare lived. And I already have his collected works somewhere. The complete works of William Shakespeare in this big old book with a case and everything. But there are a lot of Shakespeare books in a lot of editions, and I found this one with Shakespeare's sonnets, and I thought it was just really cute. It's a Bloomsbury edition, and I just really needed it. And I was like, I can't go to Shakespeare. I mean, I love theater. I'm a theater kid, and I love reading, and so I couldn't pass up on it, so I bought this. Next, we went to Edinburgh, where I bought a lot of books. First one I have is Young Sherlock, Knife's Edge by Andrew Lane. I have the first 3 in this series, and this is number 6, and so I thought that I wanted to continue the series. I bought the first 3 in England as well when I was much younger, and I haven't really found them in Sweden, and so I wanted to pick it up when I was there. Also like $2 at a thrift store. I started reading this one actually in the fall, but I discovered very soon that I need to read the 2 that I'm missing before I get to this one, so I DNF'd it for now, and I'm gonna buy the next 2 before I continue the series. Next, we went to a, I'm not sure if it's a comic store, I'm not really sure what store it was, but like a nerd store. They had comics and Funko Pops and, you know, that kind of stuff. And I bought Saltire, Immortal Guardian by John Ferguson, Claire Rowe and Lauren Knight. I read this one, it was fine. It was by a local publishing house, and so I found that to be interesting, and so I bought this one. I'm not sure if I'm gonna continue the series, but yeah, I bought this one there. I went to another thrift store, because they had a lot of thrift stores along a street in Edinburgh, and I found 4 Doctor Who books. And so I've been really on the fence about buying books about Doctor Who, because my absolute favorite Doctor is David Tennant, the 10th Doctor, as well as Rose Tyler and Donna, one of my favorites. And so all these fiction books they have about the Doctor and his companions, I wasn't really sure which ones are good or where to start and all of that, because I have found a lot of those on thrift stores as well. But these are about the production of the series. And so I have first one, Doctor Who, Starships and Spacestations. I have Monsters and Villains, Aliens and Enemies, and Creatures and Demons. And I have not read these ones yet, but I really want to, and they are from the 9th and 10th Doctor era, it seems like, and so I'm really intrigued to read these ones. Last book from this trip is Rin, Tongue and Dorner by Rick Shapero. And this book, I didn't even buy it. This book, it was a guy on the street just handing out free copies. And who am I to say no to a free book? It sounds really weird, but also kind of intriguing, so I'm not really sure what's happening. I don't know. But yeah, I actually really want to read this one, so I have to get to it. But yeah, that is the last book I got while in Great Britain. Next, I went to my sister visiting, who lives a few towns over, a couple of times, and they have thrift stores there as well, so I bought some books. First one is a comic book called Strangers in Paradise, Volume 1. I have not read this one, by Terry Moore. I picked this one up. It's just a really thin comic, and I'm not really sure what it's about. Neil Gaiman has blurbed it, and yeah, I found this to be intriguing, so I want to read that. The next book I actually have read is Who is AC by Larson and Tintin Pantoja. I read this one during fall. It was also fine. It's for younger people than me, and I just found it intriguing. I found it at a thrift store, and I read it, and it was fine. It was good. Next book is, and I'm not sure what it's called in English. I need to check. The Science of Shannara, and it's part of the Shannara universe. I'm not sure which series. I looked it up, but it seems to be like 20 books, like companion novels. But I found this one secondhand, and I have another book from another part of like another series in the same world or something. And I watched the TV series, and I'm quite intrigued by the stories and the world, so I bought this one because I wanted to read some more of that. I don't even know if this is a first book in a series. I just picked it up, and I have to look into it again before I start reading. The next book I bought is Völvans by Saga Borg. I have the second book in this series, and I have been like half-heartedly searching for it for a while. And then I went to the Red Cross thrift store in my sister's town, and I found this one in the exact same cover as well, like same print as the book I already had. And I was like, I need to have it. I think I bought this also. Did I buy it? No, I found it the day before we went to England. Because I went with my sister first, and we packed together, and then we went when we flew together to England. I found this one then, and I was like, I need that book. I need it. But I can't buy it now. So I went back there like a month or two later, and I picked it up. Next book I bought, I have already showed as well, and it is Röta by Siri Pettersson, part 2 in Korpringarna. This is a Norwegian series. I've just started reading the first book in this series. Actually, I borrowed it from a friend. And it's about a kind of people with tails, and it's about a girl who was born without a tail, and yeah, I just started reading it. I don't really know very much about it, but I was really intrigued when my friend told me about it, and I really wanted to read it, and I found this one in hardcover, which is my preferred medium of book. And so I thought I'd pick it up because it was cheap. Next 3 books are Agatha Christie. I need to check the names of them. I have Döden, mötes, Mordet, prästgården, and Liket, biblioteket. All in this beautiful like white spine with colorful fronts. I have one more on my shelf since before, and so I found these 3 in these beautiful editions, and so I picked it up because I really like them. Also hardcovers, and just really pretty. And the last book I bought secondhand at my sister's town is Kudde, gräs by Lian Hearn, and I already had this book in pocket, but I have the other 2. Can you see them there? I had the other 2 in hardcover, and so I picked this one up also in hardcover when I found it to complete the trilogy, because I think they're a lot prettier this way. This book was free. We participated. I'm part of a board gaming association community, and every year they have this thing where they give away a box of goodies like games and books and stickers and posters and stuff. And this was the book of this year, and we had like a competition sort of thing where we had prizes, and I got this one and I read it. It was also on my favorites of the year list. It's called Gamer, and it's by F.E. Karabuda. It's non-fiction about gaming and the gaming community, based mostly in Sweden because it's a Swedish book, but also like about gaming in general, and it's really good, and I really liked it. Next few books, I actually went to a bookstore. I had a gift card, so I went to a bookstore to buy some books. So I picked up Slutet by Strandberg. This is a like pre-apocalyptic, I think it says on the back. It's about the world about to go under. It's about like the apocalypse about to happen, or a world about to die, or something like that. I know very little about it. I really like Strandberg. I've read the Circle trilogy by him, and I want to read more. by him. So I bought this one. It's brand new. Next, also my favorite Swedish author, Midsommarboden by Magnus. I have read this one during Christmas. I think I finished it during Christmas? Yeah, during Christmas. It's about a boy named Ossian who in high school decides he wants to make a movie about a series of murders in his town where someone was accused and sentenced for this murder, but he is convinced that they sentenced the wrong person, and as he is doing this documentary for school about it, he's starting to reveal some things that might reveal who the real killer was. And it's really good. It's kind of weirdly written, some parts of it. When they introduce his best friend, the best friend character, it's like, oh, a few lines of dialogue, and there's like an entire page of just exposition. This is this person, he has a sister, da 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 da, and da da da, which is just really weird and happens several times. It's like the book is too short to really introduce the characters properly. But apart from that, I really like the story. It's really creepy and it's really good. And I had some, I was about to say premonitions, not really. I had some ideas about who the killer might be and like things like that. It wasn't like, oh, I'm certain this is the case. More a, I wonder if this is what happened. And then it turned out to be right, which was fun. It didn't really ruin the experience. I think it was quite fun to just be able to figure out what was going on. And I really liked it. The next 4 books I've also read, but not these editions, but I listened to the audiobook. And it's the first 4 books in the Dresden Files series by Jim Butcher. It is Stormfront, Full Moon, Grey Peril, and Summer Night. I wasn't sure for a very long time if I wanted to buy these books, because I listened to the audiobooks and I really enjoy them. But the books I'd seen before, both in store and what a friend had, were these mass market paperbacks. And I don't really like that format. But then I found these also really pretty with like the colors. And I was like, yeah, I can totally buy that. And they had 4 for the price of 3, so I bought the first 4. So now I'm gonna keep purchasing these books in these editions. And I hope to find them maybe cheaper somewhere online. Because Swedish books I buy in store, because it's easier that way. But English books I can buy cheaper elsewhere. So I might look up if I can find them online when I have more money. I'm not gonna, because I have read this series before, but I really do want to reread it. But then it's weird, like I'm not sure where I stand on that yet. We'll see how I prioritize my money later. But this is a really good series. I really liked it. It's about a private investigator who is also a wizard, and they work together with the police to solve cases that involve magic and the supernatural and stuff. And I really enjoyed this, so I now have the first 4. Next, I got contacted by a friend who was just like, hey, do you want some books? And I was like, yeah. No, I actually did ask what books first, and I looked them up. But they seemed really good, and that is Siri's trilogy, De Utvalda, by Kristen Kishore. In English, they are called Graceling. Is the first book called Graceling, or is it the Graceling series? I'm not sure. Anyway, 3 books, an entire series in Swedish, and they sound really good, and I got them for free, so I'm very happy with that, and they also sound really good, so I want to read them. They're long books though, all of them seem really thick. First one is 480 pages, second is 508, and the third one is 610 even. So they're quite long, and so I have to get to them at some point. This one seems really good, so I really want to read them soon. Next pile of books is Christmas presents, and I will start with this one. Stina Jackson is the author, Silvervägen is the book, and it's like a thriller, I think. Yeah, it's like a thriller, crime sort of story. It's about a man, I think, who lost his daughter a couple of years ago, and about him figuring out what happened, basically. And it sounds really good. It's quite short. It is about 300 pages, but it sounds really interesting, and I'm really intrigued by this one. The next book was from my partner's parents, and it's called Factfulness, 10 knep som hjälper dig förstå världen, by Hans Rosling, Anna Rosling, Rönnlund, and Ola Rosling. And it's basically about, the name in English is 10 tricks to help you understand the world. and I haven't really heard of it before, but it sounds interesting. So I'm not really sure what this book is about, but I'm really intrigued and interested in reading it. Next book I got from my sister is Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, and it is a book for younger people, I think. I have no idea what it's about, but it looks interesting, so I'm gonna read that. Next two books I got from my other aunt, and I actually had this on my wish list for this year, and that is Sight and Thunderhead by Neil Schusterman, one of my absolute favorite authors ever. And I got these in these beautiful hardcovers, and so I'm so excited to finally have my hands on these after watching everyone else gushing about them for this past year. And I'm so excited to read these ones. Next two I also got from the same aunt, and that is Unholy and Unsold by Neil Schusterman as well. And I will have all four in that series as well, so I can reread that whenever I want. I'm so excited. I love this series so much, and I'll have all four. This one doesn't match, but I don't care. I just really want to have all of them, and now I do, and it's... Next book I got, I have been gushing about this series since high school. I read it in high school, I loved it. It's a graphic novel, so it's really expensive, and I really want the hardback, so they're even more expensive. And so I got this from my parents. It is Lock and Key, Heaven and Earth by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. It is not one of the main stories, one of the main books. It's a 6-volume long series. It's like short stories that are about the same world and about the same people, I think. Now I have like one of them, and I just really love this series, and I just want all of them, and I have one out of like 8, and I'm so excited. It's quite graphic, it's like really violent, which is not something I usually read, but I picked this one up in high school, and I love it so much. I'm not sure what this specific one is about, but the main story is about a family moving to a new house, and in this house they found these weird keys that do weird things, like magic things, and then there's a bad person who's trying to get all the keys for reasons that I don't remember, because it's been like 7 years since I read it. Oh my god. 6 years? I don't even remember. Many years since I read it, and now I just want to reread it. It's so good. The last book I got for Christmas is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, eller Harry Potter och Hemligheternas kammare, illustrated version in Swedish, because I had the first one in Swedish, and I consider the illustrated versions to be children's books, and so I wanted this in Swedish, and so yeah. The last two books are the last books I've gotten, and the first one is Lyra's Färd, or Book of Dust by Philip Pullman. This is a continuation on the Dark Materia. This is a continuation of the story of Lyra. I think it might be a prequel, and I got this from my sister as well. And the last book I actually bought for myself with a gift card I got from Christmas, and that is Från Holmes till Sherlock, which is a Swedish non-fiction about Sherlock Holmes and how it came to be, and everything surrounding it. And it's really big, and it sounds really interesting, and so I'm very excited to have this one. That is the last book in this book haul. There was quite a lot of them, but it's also been like 4 months, so I think that's okay. I'm gonna try to not buy very many books this year, because like I said in my bookish goals resolutions video, that I want to read all the books on my shelves, so if I continue purchasing new books, I can't really keep up, can I? So I'm gonna try to not buy any books unless it's books I have already read that I want to have, like if I continue on the Dresden Files series. I know exactly what I'm talking about. If I continue on the Dresden Files series, for example, or other books I've already read that I want to have, that I want to reread. I have my eyes on some books, for example, The Forgetting that I listed in my best books of the year. I really want to have that one in physical copy. So that one I might buy, and things like that. But I'm gonna try to not buy any new books, because they don't really fit at the moment. Yeah, that is all I had. Have you read any of the books I talked about today? Comment down below, what do you think about them? If you want to watch more videos from me, please subscribe. I upload on Saturdays, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!